The Viridian warriors stood in rigid formation at the edge of the training grounds, their scaled skin glistening under the binary stars of Proxima Station. They were the pride of the Galactic Confederation, feared across 17 systems for their unmatched martial prowess. 4 limbs, each ending in retractable bone blades, hide tough enough to deflect low-velocity projectiles, reflexes honed through generations of selective breeding. Commander Skarath surveyed his elite squad with satisfaction. The human representatives were due any moment, and he intended to make an impression. The Terrans were newcomers to the Confederation, curiosities from an improbable world classified as death grade by xenobiologists. How any sentient species evolved on such a radiation-bathed, gravity well of a planet remained a scientific mystery. They approached, hissed Sub-Commander Vexti, her sensory tendrils quivering. The airlock cycled open, revealing 3 humans, smaller than expected, wearing simple gray uniforms bearing the Earth Alliance insignia. They seemed fragile compared to the towering Viridians. "Welcome to Proxima Station." Skarev's translator module rendered his complex clicks into standard galactic. "I am Commander Skarath. We understand your species has joined our military cooperative. Today, we evaluate your combat capabilities." The lead human, a female with close-cropped dark hair, stepped forward. "Lieutenant Sarah Chen, Earth Alliance Special Operations. These are Surgeons Ramirez and Okonkwo. We're honored to participate in this exchange." Skrath's inner eyelids flickered in what passed for a Viridian smile. "As is tradition with new species, we invite a demonstration of your native combat techniques. My warriors will then showcase our millennia-perfected forms." Shen nodded. "Happy to oblige. What parameters for the demonstration?" "Unarmed combat only. We have prepared a sparring circle." Skarath gestured toward a 30-meter ring marked on the deck. "Who will demonstrate?" "Sergeant Ramirez will show you basic Earth techniques." The stocky human male stepped forward, removing his jacket. Several Viridian warriors chittered in their native tongue, clearly amused by the human's soft appearance and lack of natural armor. Skarath selected a mid-ranking warrior named Grathel. "Observe and evaluate only. No actual combat." The Viridian warrior entered the circle opposite Ramirez, standing nearly 2 meters tall with arms outstretched in the traditional opening stance of the Viridian ninth form. "Just demonstration, right?" Ramirez confirmed, rolling his shoulders. "I'll go through some basic techniques slowly so your analysts can record them." "Proceed," Skarath commanded. What happened next would be replayed in Confederation training academies for decades to come. Ramirez began with simple punches, jabs, crosses, hooks, his fists slicing through the air with controlled precision. The movement seemed primitive to the watching Viridians, who exchanged glances of superiority. Then came elbow strikes, knee thrusts, and open palm techniques. "These are what we call boxing and Muay Thai movements," Shen explained from the sideline, "ancient Earth combat forms." Skarath was unimpressed. Simplistic striking only, no integration of gravitational maximization, arterial targeting. "We're just getting started," Chen said calmly. "Ramirez, proceed to grappling basics." The human's demeanor shifted. He'd approached the Viridian warrior, who instinctively assumed a defensive posture. With methodical precision, Ramirez demonstrated takedowns, double leg, single leg, hip throws, pantomiming how he would control an opponent once grounded. A murmur rippled through the watching warriors. The techniques looked unnervingly efficient. "These movements leverage principles of human wrestling and judo," Shan explained. "And now, ground control techniques." Ramirez lay on his back, inviting the confused Viridian to kneel beside him for demonstration purposes. The human then showed various guard positions, arm bars, choke holds, and joint manipulations. The Viridian observers had fallen completely silent. "Final section," Chen announced. "Sergeant, please demonstrate transition combinations and defensive counters at 3/4 speed." Ramirez nodded and suddenly transformed. He flowed through sequences that combined strikes, takedowns, and submissions in fluid chains. Each movement fed into the next, a punch becoming a clinch, becoming a throw, becoming a joint lock. The patterns were unpredictable yet devastatingly logical. When he finished 5 minutes later, not a sound could be heard in the training hall. Scrath's mandibles clicked rapidly as he processed what he'd witnessed. Viridian combat emphasized ritualized forms and predictable patterns. This human approach was adaptive, opportunistic. It combined disparate techniques with no apparent concern for stylistic purity. "This is what you consider basic training?" Scarath finally asked. "Yes, Commander. These are fundamentals taught to all Special Operations personnel," Chen confirmed. "What you've seen combines elements of boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, judo, and sambo, just a few of Earth's hundreds of combat systems developed over thousands of years." The Viridian warriors exchanged troubled glances. Their own combat forms had remained virtually unchanged for centuries, refined toward theoretical perfection rather than practical adaptation. "And your advanced techniques?" Scarath ventured. "Classification prohibits full demonstration," Chen replied, "but they incorporate environmental exploitation, improvised weapons, and psychological warfare elements." Scarath contemplated this. Humans had evolved on a world with twice Viridia's gravity, atmospheric toxins, dangerous predators, and extreme climate variations. Their combat systems reflected this: pragmatic, ruthless efficiency over ceremonial precision. No wonder their planet was classified as a death world. "I believe," Scarath said carefully, "that the Confederation has much to learn from Earth's combat philosophies. Perhaps today we will observe rather than demonstrate our own techniques." Chen smiled diplomatically. "We're equally eager to learn from the Viridians, Commander. Earth has always valued diversity of approach." As the demonstration concluded and arrangements were made for future exchanges, Scarath noted how his warriors kept a respectful distance from the humans. The realization that these soft-skinned creatures considered such formidable techniques merely basic had fundamentally altered their perception. In private communication later, Scarath would report to High Command, "Reconsider classification of human combat capability. Previous assessment severely underestimated. Recommend immediate integration of human instructors into Confederation training programs. Their death world has forged warriors unlike any we have encountered." The humans, for their part, never mentioned that Sergeant Ramirez was actually just a mid-level practitioner by Earth standards. Some revelations were best delivered gradually.